This week on the podcast, let's dig into Capcom's Spotlight event, hear about Mendacii's time with the Resident Evil 4 Remake Chainsaw demo, new policies for multiplayer games over at the Epic Game Store and what it means for you, and stick around until the end of the show for some deals of the week. All of that and more in this week's episode of the podcast. Roll the intro.
Bloop, doop, pop.
Every time you make little bleeps and bloops and it makes me giggle. Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I am your host, Danny K. With me, as always, the wonderful, the beautiful, the Mr. Green Elite Green. How are you doing today?
Hi, how you doing? Good. I'm good. I can't complain.
Yeah.
A little sore. I'm a little sore, and that I can't. Yeah. Good.
Dude,
How you doing, Danny?
I'm good. Did you go work out? Get some gains, get swole?
No, I mean like lifting rotors and brake pads is making gains, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're
I
also
had to whop the rotors off because they were just I had to hit them with my trusty sledgehammer to get them off because when you live above the rust belt, it's kind of becomes a thing where like rust welds metal together. So he used like half a can of WD-40 and just went to town with a fucking sledgehammer and took that thing right off. So
yeah,
we're good now. It stops perfectly fine.
Real quick, what kind of hammer?
A sledgehammer.
There you go. We're also joined by the spooky
Don't make fun of my speech impediment, dickhead.
It's our Midwest accent. we turn all other vowels into U's, and people don't realize that.
Worsh it. Just worsh it down.
We're also joined by the spooky and the ugly, the Mendacii. Mendacii, how are you doing today?
I'm kind of sleepy, so I guess like a little ookily, but spookily wise, watching a docuseries on the missing image 370 plane. Where'd it go? We don't know still. Crazy, wild, spooky.
Ooh. Spooky. Thanks for watching and listening to the show. Sorry. Thanks for watching and listening to the show. Be sure to stick around until the end of the show to hear about some awesome deals that we found for you this week and that you can take advantage of. Of course, if you miss any part of the show, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. I don't know why you would miss any part of the show because we're not live this week. This is, again, pre-recorded. But you can normally find us every Tuesday live on Twitch at 7 p.m. Central Time. Typically, but we've had to record the last couple weeks because of scheduling conflicts and just general life. Are you guys ready to talk about Capcom? The Capcom event?
Yeah.
Of course.
Mendacii, what all was happening at the Capcom event?
So, like, first and foremost, I want to preface this. Most spotlights and like state of plays, whatever you want to call them, directs, have kind of just like sucked butt for a while. So I had zero like any idea as to like what good might come from this. And overall, I was feeling very pessimistic. The only thing that I was like was there was some speculation that the Resident Evil 4 Chainsaw demo might be announced or even released during this spotlight. So I had to tune in, and more on that in a minute. The things that did get announced during the Capcom Spotlight that were kind of interesting, I have is like a play-by-play. So as they were announced, Mega Man's Battle Network series is dropping on Switch, PS4, and Steam April 14th, 2023. So if you're a fan of like the older Mega Man games, this should be the dopest thing you've heard in a while. So Mega Man fans finna be eating good. And of course, like any other fighting game nut, I've been waiting to bust a nut for Street Fighter 6, which comes out 2 days before my birthday on June 2nd this year. So at the Spotlight event, we got more gameplay. We got a little bit of a look at some of the game modes that we already knew were a part of it, but we did get like a new trailer, so to speak. There were no new characters unveiled, but we don't think that there are new characters left on the roster. We did, however, get a little snippet from a new commentator. That would be Hikaru Takahashi, who is a Japanese, I believe, pop star. I'm not sure. I hadn't heard of her before, but that makes for 8 total commentators along with 13 language subtitles displayed in real time. If you're unfamiliar, this sounds wild to you. Street Fighter 6 does have essentially a setting that you can have like esports commentators commentating your fight, and like that's just your preference. So if you're playing online and you have it turned on, they will commentate the fight for you. It won't force it on your opponent. You won't have to deal with it if you don't like it. But there are 8 total commentators to choose from, and if you want someone that does not say speak your native language, you can still have subtitles come up. The subtitles don't really block anything. It's really nice. I kind of wish everything had these kind of subtitle choices, but they did say that there were going to be more updates later, and that right now they didn't want to say a date for another beta coming, which would be open after the past, I think, 2 closed betas that they've already had. But at the end of this, they also announced their Capcom Pro Tour, which we had heard rumblings of a couple weeks back. Yo, first place is supposed to win $1 million. $1 million for the one person that gets first place in the Capcom Pro tournament. Total prize pool is $2 million. First time ever as far as that goes. I don't even know if it's actually, it could be the first time ever in fighting game tournaments that someone walked away with $1 million as the first place prize. I think that there was actually a tweet out by Sonic Fox, like world champion of several games, but most notably Mortal Kombat, was like, "Hey, yo, anyone hear about this Street Fighter 6? Anyone hear about Street Fighter 6?" So get ready for some really crazy esports in that venue. They also then kind of talked about an in-depth look at how they're going to be using Capcom ID in the future. So basically, they want you to sign up for Capcom ID for it to be used in games. For Street Fighter 6, you're going to need it in order to play online, so that, you know, people can ban you if you're hacking or cheating. But it also allows them to send you surveys and be like, "Hey, are you having fun? Is this cool to look at?" So on and so forth, which is kind of cool. They have done a lot of work on the other Resident Evil games with these surveys, and they typically give out a bunch of stuff when you participate in these surveys. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in this segment, which is about Exoprimal. And if you don't know what Exoprimal is, go look that shit up. Go be a mech and tear apart a whole bunch of dinosaurs and get torn up by T-Rexes and stuff. It looks crazy. It honestly looks like Warframe meets like Earth Defense Force, which like real quick, we talked about this a little bit last year, fellas. What did you guys think of Exoprimal when you originally saw it?
Isn't it like Turok or something like that? You kept saying something like similar to that, or like Arc.
I think Arc was said.
There was a game that I used to play. It was like 99 cents on Steam called Orion, I think. That was weird futuristic horde mode shooter, but the hordes were not zombies. I'm sorry, were dinosaurs.
Okay.
So it just reminded me of that, of a 99-cent first-person shooter. In fact, hold on, I think I still have it in my library. Let me double check.
Hell yeah.
Orion Prelude. I bought it for 99 cents. I then bought it for one of my friends, and he rejected my love and never installed it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quan.
Wow, Quan. Wow. Green, did you have any feelings about Exoprimal initially when like looking at it?
No, not really. I mean, yeah.
I'd say like I was fairly lukewarm, especially considering I think that like the initial idea behind it looked like it was like 2 teams of players will go head to head against each other and also dinosaurs are there to make things like difficult. And I was like, man, I don't really care for like a lot of PvP and getting sweaty and stuff. So what they unveiled here in the Capcom Spotlight actually made me pretty excited about this game. The designs look great. And I've played over the top shit like this, like Earth Defense Force in the past, where you're fighting like giant spiders and ants and frog people that are like somersaulting and shooting at you with photon cannons. Like, it's not outside the realm of possibility for me to play something like this. But they go into like telling you, hey, the dinosaurs are here because of a weapon of mass destruction that messes with time and space and alternate dimensions and stuff. So it straight up showed us that there is a full on story mode with cutscenes, which looks like it has a pretty decent roster of playable characters and potential support characters. And one of them definitely looks like Indy Falco. I don't know if you guys saw that picture, but our homie's in that game. It's weird. It looks just like him. Different glasses, same guy, pretty sure. But
And robotic arm.
and a robotic arm. Well, yeah, I mean, do we know? Do we know?
I
He
have
might have a robotic,
I
he
have
might have a
never met
robotic
Indy
arm,
Falco in person, so I can't tell you.
right? He plays a robot on VR Kana. Debunked. It's right there. See it for what it is. Don't let someone throw the wool over your eyes. Don't go out like a sheep. Anyway, so like the game comes out with an open beta at least March 17th, goes through the March 19th. The release date, however, is not until July 14th. So definitely get in on that open beta if this looks like something you want to play. I would highly recommend checking out the trailer because it actually had a ton of in-game, like actual gameplay in it, which is pretty hard to find nowadays. So definitely do that. They announced that there will be a battle pass. They call it a survival pass. There's a premium and then there's like the free version, so you will get stuff regardless. But I gotta say the free version of that battle pass looked really sparse and it looked like it kind of just gave you dirt. I'm not so certain like what you might end up getting out of the battle pass. Ultimately, it looked like some stickers, some sprays, weapon skins, and character skins. So kind of your typical. But the coolest thing that I saw about this was that if you buy the game on launch or close to its launch, you actually get the battle pass season 1 for free. So either way, I'm way more excited to check this out than before. So you two, I would highly recommend checking this out. It might end up coming to us free on like Xbox Game Pass. I could see that happening because it is like a multiplayer game. So get correct, and maybe I don't know. We'll shoot down some T-Rexes or something. I think that'd be kind of cool. So the next game was called Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which is I believe, a remaster, not a remake, but it's by the fella who made Ace Detective, which is Shu Takumi. So it's going to be released on Switch. It looks kind of like a side scroller with some like weird puzzles and strategy where you're just kind of like possessing objects in like the world around like a setting and making them like roll or move or whatever, kind of creating obstructions or getting rid of obstructions in order to solve a puzzle that's going on. So it looks like it's like part puzzle, part what do they call those? Like the visual novel. There you go. But either way, like it looks kind of charming. If you're interested in something that has that very anime inspired look and is not like your typical, run of the mill game that you see, dime a dozen, I definitely check this out. Especially considering the fact that, if you have a Switch, you're looking for, fun games to play on it. So this could be very much so a reason to check that out. I did not catch a release date on that, so definitely look that one up and see if you're interested in that. Next thing, right before we actually get to Resident Evil 4 Remake, is Monster Hunter Rise is finally coming to Xbox Series X and S, PS4, and PS5. Um, Ultimately, people didn't have to wait too long, considering you know, the last time that we got a game from the Monster Hunter series, it was on system right away, other than obviously Nintendo Switch. Well, you know, Iceborne World, you know, that kind of thing. So it's really nice that people haven't had to wait too terribly long. It's been about a year or so since Monster Hunter Rise came out. Ultimately, though, it will not have the Sunbreak DLC, which is like an additional 200 hours of gameplay, but that will come out on April 28th. So right now, you have like all the way up to, I think it's like patch 1.3, which includes like the Gore Magala from Monster Hunter, what was that, 4 Ultimate. So there's still a ton of stuff for you to play. Uh, I mean, like it's available for free on Game Pass right now. So if you've been interested in Monster Hunter Rise, this is a great time to do it. I own it on Switch. I also bought it on Steam because it was on sale. I've played it a few times. I just didn't want to restart my 200 hours or whatever I have on Monster Hunter Rise again. But I will confirm that on Steam, at least, it was super optimized, really clean, sounded great, and ultimately it was, I'm kind of upset to say it, a better experience than it was playing it on my Switch because my computer can handle a lot more than my Switch can. So if you've ever been interested in the Monster Hunter series, you should definitely take this time to try it out, and of course, try it out for free on the Xbox Game Pass. Before I get into the Resident Evil 4 remake stuff, did either of you guys have any questions about the Capcom Spotlight?
None.
Yeah,
None.
No, you got everything. You got everything.
Gamer. Is there anything, any of these actually sound interesting to you guys?
Exoprimal sounds fun to me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much about it because I'm not big on too much else that they really offer. Like I'm not a Street Fighter person, and
You could be.
same.
It's just some buttons and a stick. You know, there's you could just be like spending all your money. Yeah. Oh, I mean, you're gonna stay playing players that are around your skill level. So as soon as you get good and you're playing people that also got good, I'm just saying. It's better to start out like right when the game's fresh.
yeah. Well, I mean, when you say get good, do you mean like hitting the buttons like bongos and just you know, just like really smashing it in there? Because that's how I play fighting games.
Nar. I don't mean it like that. That sounds terrible. But you know, I mean, I could school you. I'd be willing to show you. You know, show you the ropes, show you how to grapple, how to cancel, how to Roman cancel, show you a little dragon upper. Either way, I mean, there's a lot here for me that I've been excited about as far as Capcom goes. But I love Capcom games. Um, I'm obviously going to be looking at Exoprimal, and I've been biting my fingernails staring at Street Fighter 6, even though Street Fighter 5 burned all of us. Have really good feelings about Street Fighter 6. A lot of content creators out there that got their hands on Street Fighter 6 in the closed beta saw a lot of gameplay there. They're really hopeful. So I'm higher than optimistic. I have high hopes for this.
Yeah.
I have a lot riding on this, okay?
Yeah. Well, let me open it up to the audience, our community in the YouTube comments. Let us know what you think about the Capcom Spotlight event in the episode comments there, and we will be sure to respond to you. We love talking to you guys about stuff like this, so make sure you leave your thoughts down below.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will personally comment to each of you, and we can talk about, you know, like our favorite Street Fighter waifus, or like why they gotta focus so much on Juri's feet now. That's weird. I feel weird about that. Either way, I'm gonna talk to you now about the Resident Evil 4 remake chainsaw demo, which was short, but it was pretty fun. Um, in the spotlight, we got to see some of the new mechanics. They had said that they reimagined the storyline a bit. And then, of course, they gave us a special announcement video that showed new gameplay and said, hey, the demo's live. There's no time limit like Resident Evil 2 Remake's demo or Resident Evil 3 Remake's demo. You get to play it as much as you want to. And dude, it's really fun. It's super, super fun. It kind of keeps up the intensity of the original, but it really hammers in just how disgusting and messed up the village that you end up in. It just like throws meat and blood and gore and messed up shit all over the place, and kind of shows like that the people aren't mentally there. They're not completely aware of what's going on. Like there's bloody writing in like pigeon Spanish all over the walls, and like weird bone fetishes and stuff, and like hairy soups. The ganados, the villagers, look terrifying now. Like more or less they look like people until you do something to them that normal people would not be able to get up from. And then they get up and you hear their bones crunching and snapping, and they start hissing, and like they're like literally going like chasing after you, and like they're all like just messed up, dude. It's worse than zombies. I will tell you that right now. Worse than zombies. It's bad. So it's really, really sick that they were able to even reimagine what it felt like being in that environment and having these things be your target and you be the target of them. Really interested in seeing how my anxiety and stress levels are maintained through. Um, I've played through and beaten Resident Evil 4 upwards of, I don't even know, like honestly 15 times since it came out on the GameCube. They were able to throw in some curveballs, which I was really excited about. You can still block windows with like cupboards, furniture, whatever. The martial arts style attacks are still there. There's still ground finishers, but there's also stealth kills now where like you can sneak up to someone and put your hand over their mouth and then like literally jam your knife through their head, which is really sick. They brought in ammo crafting though. Ammo crafting was something that was kind of like always a part of Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, but it's different. You're not getting like gunpowder A, gunpowder B, large gunpowder, and like mixing these things together to make like handgun, shotgun, and magnum ammo. You're getting just here's gunpowder, and then like you get something that they're just calling resources, and they look like bullet casings. And then it just kind of takes out the science of how you would actually go to make those bullets. It just says, hey, if you want to make handgun ammo, it's going to take 5 things of gunpowder and 1 thing of resources. And then it looked like the different guns would just take different amounts. There might be some other gunpowder drops that you'll find in the game. But as far as this demo goes, I was able to like make some handgun ammo just from pickups that I found either around the map, killing some of the animals. Like the giant crows usually have drops. The villagers will also sometimes drop stuff just like they did before. So the bodies, I didn't notice, they didn't really fizzle away, but I don't think that they originally did in that first part. So we're not entirely certain how they're going to handle some of like the physics that the GameCube had. The bodies would just kind of melt away, which helped the GameCube kind of continue to process like larger mobs of enemies, especially ones that are throwing Molotovs, hatchets, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be interesting to see what this looks like on updated hardware, because there are some really large crowds of people. This beginning village scene is kind of known for that. You get swarmed by people, and it's called the chainsaw demo because when Dr. Salvador, a man with a potato bag over his head, comes into town wielding a chainsaw, and he's part of this whole like group of people. Now you can get into a house in which, you know, you lock the door behind you, and then you push some things in the way to stop people from just climbing in through the windows. If you go upstairs, there's a shotgun. Shotgun kind of felt like a marshmallow launcher, like it did in Resident Evil 2, kind of like it did in Resident Evil 3 remake. So I'm not super stoked about that. But Resident Evil 4 has a ton of different guns. It's got a merchant that you use to upgrade your stuff as well, which is something that didn't really happen with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, where you had to rely on gun parts that you would find in the game in order to make them stronger, carry more ammo, or be more sturdy. So there's still a lot to see, but there was a fair amount shown in this demo. The
Mhm.
knife, like it did in Resident Evil 2 and 3, also has durability. So the game did take, I would say, like good measures to allow you to interact with items and the world around you if you did not have a knife. However, the knife is so important in this game. I almost hate the idea of it having durability, and I'm
Mhm.
just not a big fan of durability in games anyway. But either way, the demo itself was exceptionally well optimized. It was beautiful to look at. It was terrifying to look at. Um, there's going to be a ton of changes, but even with like relying on my muscle memory and memory of playing Resident Evil 4, I knew where a lot of items were, and it was really cool to have them be in the place that they were originally when I picked up the game way back in the day.
Mhm.
So it was really cool. There was like younger me and now older me enjoying it for what it was for completely different reasons at the same exact time. So I'm super excited. I really wish it was time to play it right now, but obviously it's not. It comes out this weekend. And obviously I'll talk about whether I'm going to have time to play that this weekend or not at the end of the show. And the Capcom Spotlight did end with the Capcom Publisher Sale on Steam, which was nice. Just like a little cherry on top, like, hey, by the way, tons of our titles are up to 87% off right now. And I'll have a couple of those to toss at you and recommend at the end of the show. But that was my time with the Resident Evil 4 remake chainsaw demo. But yeah, fellas, did you have any questions about that?
You said the game comes out this weekend, as in like the weekend of like the 12th, like 11th to 12th, or the
No,
weekend
no,
after
it
the
would be,
show.
I think it's actually the 17th. Now I'm questioning myself. Okay,
Yeah, it's the 17th.
And then do we
cool.
have an official price on Resident Evil
On
4
Resident Evil
Remake?
4, I'm
Hmm.
assuming it's going to be full priced at $59.99, but let me double check Steam. Yep, $59.99.
Cool.
Yep. It says release date's March 23rd.
Oh, okay.
So not the 17th, the
Hmm.
following week. So not this weekend, but the next weekend. I'm getting ahead of myself.
I may
Also,
add this to
yeah,
the carts.
I recommend it. It's as much of an action game as it is a horror survival game. Resident Evil 4 was not really ever known as having a heavy survival horror kind of influence as far as like you're going to find ammo, you're going to be swimming in guns and grenades and stuff like that. So it's really just like, can you kill the spooky looking stuff with all the bullets you have? The answer is yes. And you can also snap necks and do cool suplexes. So
So,
yeah, I think, yeah, what's up?
I'll continue with your thought.
Yeah, last thing that I have here is the only thing that I wish I would have seen as far as Resident Evil 4 remake goes and the Capcom Spotlight was whether or not it was going to have Resident Evil 4's mercenary mode, which was one of the biggest reasons why that game had an impact with wider audiences well after people had finished beating it, because there was like characters to unlock, and it was like a speed, like a kill trial thing. You had a
Mhm.
number of time. You had to go around and get as many kills and chain your kills as well as you could, and you would get ranked at the end of them.
Mhm.
There were also some bonus missions and stuff like that that you could play after you beat the game. The game had a ton of goodies in it, so they haven't said whether or not the game was going to contain those things, which I know it would probably be just like a cool surprise But the thing is that we're going to learn from crazy people that leak things online or beat the game, mere hours after it comes out. We're going to know, but it'd be cool to know ahead of time so that there's even more hype to kind of get into the game. But yeah,
Yep.
those modes are very, very near and dear to most people. I'd say almost everyone that has
Yeah.
played these games.
The only question I had about the demo
Mhm.
was did they show Ashley in the demo?
Mm.
And is she any smarter?
Okay. So those are really good questions. So they showed a picture of her, but there has been a number of announcement trailers and gameplay trailers that have shown her, and this has also been kind of a big question amongst reporters regarding the game. Like, please tell me you've updated Ashley's like persona and things. Her main mechanic won't just be like go hide or like get picked up by scary man and start getting carried away. She's going to be a little bit more useful, it seems, and she won't just like kind of be a ball and chain, so to speak. And it kind of seems like they've updated her personality quite a bit. Her look has also been updated so it doesn't just look so, I don't know, I guess like cliche.
All American
Yeah,
girl.
there's yeah, all American girl in college. So she's got high boots, tiny skirt, and a sweater vest. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, so it's
Leon.
it's Leon hell. Yeah,
I wonder if she still
I'm
has the mechanic where if you ADS like in her
up
like
the
lower section,
yeah.
that she'll
If you
stop.
if you stood at the bottom of a ladder and you looked up, she'd be like fucking pervert. I wish she'd just dome you if you did that. She just like pulls out a silenced pistol and just shoots you in the head. It'd be so cool. But yeah, there's gonna be so much to uncover when this game comes out. And I'm really excited to get my mitts on it. And it's gonna be really hard to beat it that weekend because I'm gonna want to just look around and play with everything. But
Yeah.
if it's as good as the original, there's gonna be plenty of time and plenty of reason to do that for the years after its release. So here's hoping. I really hope it makes a bigger splash than RE3 Remake, where they cut out like 30% of the game. Yeah, there's a lot riding on this title for Capcom.
Heck yeah. Well, do you guys want to talk about the changes that are coming to the Epic Game Store?
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
So, the Epic Game Store is making sure that you can play with your friends regardless of what non-Epic game launcher those plebeians are deciding to use. And this was announced on March 9th that new requirements to the Epic Games self-publishing program. Multiplayer games would be required to support PC crossplay. And in their blog, they said this. Quote, multiplayer games must support crossplay across all PC stores. This ensures that players who purchase a multiplayer game on any store can easily connect with other players, regardless of where the game was purchased. To achieve this, you can implement crossplay yourself, use a third-party SDK, or use Epic Online Services for free. And you can learn more by enabling going to like their blog post. So, pretty good system, pretty good policy. It seems like they're really getting out ahead of something that wasn't really a huge problem, because in PC gaming, a lot of developers had like dedicated servers and stuff. So I don't know how big of an issue this really has been, but it's nice to see that they're getting out ahead of it and actually creating a policy and being a champion for it. They get to now position themselves and being like, hey, this is what we did for you, the players. It's good positioning, good marketing. Thumbs up from me. Any thoughts on that policy change? Finger guns?
No.
I'm gonna say I want to be really, really excited. I'm going to be a little hesitant because I want to hear if this will actually cause any issues for anyone that's attempting to publish on Epic Game Store. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
One of those things like it seems good. It seems like normal. Like
Mhm.
that's what should be. So I'm a little hesitant to give Epic the dub anyway because it's
Yeah.
Epic. But like for now, like I'll give him that face. I'll give him one of sorry, and then I'll watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it seems very niche. Like
Yeah.
how how often has this been like an issue
Right.
to causing someone to like not be able to play with friends? I get the cross platform, but a lot of games have like their own like login information that you can just send like friend requests through the game anyways. So like
Mhm.
this would have to be something that is like very, very, very rare in the first place. So
Yeah.
it just kind of feels like I don't know, like a almost like a virtue signal, like, hey, this is what we're doing. But like, yeah,
Right.
cool. I guess it's cool. Like, I just
Yeah.
don't see like how often has this been an actual issue?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Because like you think about like the bigs, right? Like Valorant,
mm,
Overwatch, and anything like those two, like they don't have a problem with it because you use like Battle.net or whatever the hell League of Legends uses. I don't Riot, whatever.
yeah,
So
I can't wait to play The Witcher 3 with my buds that have it on Steam. You know, like or GOG. And I don't know.
that's a
Yeah.
good point.
Alien Isolation.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, like I've picked up a couple different games, but like all the games that I've got on Epic usually have like dedicated servers. So again,
Mhm.
I don't know exactly how big the issue is, but um,
Mhm.
yeah, it's at least nice that they're thinking ahead. But you guys want to know another little tidbit that Epic shared?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, so they also announced that if like how they give away games for free like every week, they revealed that the 99 free games they gave away in 2022 was worth $2,240. So if you kept up with those games and kept it like just picking up every single one of them, that's what that collection is worth. So
That's good stuff.
congrats. Yeah. And speaking of deals, you guys want to go like right to deals of the week?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, starting out deals of the week for me. Warner Bros. Build your own bundle over on Humble Bundle. 3 or more titles for up to 90% off. Mortal Kombat is included there. Some of the Arkham games, Mad Max, a bunch of Lego games are all available. Pretty good deal. Link will be in the description. Of course, it's an affiliate link, so just know that when you use that link, you are helping to support the show. Green Elite, how about you?
I have something different. I'm not doing something on Steam. I am gonna. I shared a Amazon link that will be in the description of the podcast. Either if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Spotify or whatever. Check the description. But it's a hot swappable keyboard by Royal Clutch. It's a 61 key keyboard. Usually I think the list price is like $60 or so. But it's on sale for like 40. Let me double check, but I think it's like 42.99 right now. Plus they have like a $4 coupon if you buy it. The biggest thing, I'm sorry, it's 49.99. With the $4 coupon, you can add on to that to drop the price to make it 45.99. The best thing about the Royal Clutch is it is um hot swappable. So like you pick the switches that you want when it comes with it, but you can switch it to something later down the road. It's USB Type C. It is a compact keyboard, 60% keyboard. For those on the visual side, that's the size. It doesn't have the arrows. It doesn't have the number pad. So it's a good space saving keyboard. And it's a good entry level option, especially if you want to like you haven't like figured out like where you want to jump into the mechanical keyboard world, but you wanted to make that dive. This would be a great option for you. Then you can just buy switches, swap them in, try them out, see how you feel, and then eventually that will evolve into you know getting cool, you know, drop shipped. I wouldn't say drop shipped. Group buy keyboards and all the fancy stuff that all these cool keyboard chats do.
Excellent. Mendacii, what do you got?
Yo, so like at the beginning of the show, like when I was talking about the Capcom Spotlight and their Capcom publisher sale, that's what I'm going to recommend. There's a ton there, up to 87% off. The sale goes on until March 23rd. If I had to recommend you some titles, I would definitely say Monster Hunter Rise. Like I said, it runs super well on PC, and there is a phenomenal bundle with Sunbreak on there. So that's 35% off. I think you can get that for like a total of, I think it's like $39.99 for the base game and the DLC. Keep in mind the game is like $50 and the DLC is $30. So if you already had the base game, Sunbreak is on there as well separately for $24.99. Otherwise, I highly recommend picking up DMC 5, which you can get the complete edition for $9.99, or any of the Resident Evil remake games. Those are dirt cheap. Or Resident Evil 5 if you have a friend that you hang out with and want to play through a ridiculous third person action game, survival horror quotation marks game together. But yeah, I would highly recommend checking that out. There's a ton there for every gaming niche that you find yourself being a part of.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Anything else?
Heck yeah. No.
No? Well, I think that's going to be it for us this week then. Let's go around and plug ourselves. Mr. Greenlee, what do you got going on?
So at the time that you're watching this, I'm probably going to be studying for my professional in human resources certification. I have been procrastinating. I was accepted to do the certification. I paid for the test. It was like back in October, maybe November. And I have not studied at all since then. I have that test in a little over 3 weeks, maybe. I think something like that. And I am condensing that studying down from I have like 2 weeks to study, right? Normally people study for like 10 weeks. So I'm kind of fucked. but if I am streaming, I'll be streaming like probably Hunts or something. I catch that all on twitch.tv/Mr. Greenlee. And I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the fancy places, all at Mr. Greenlee.
Mendacii, what's coming up with you?
So I go back to school Monday. My spring break was like all of like I think like 2 weeks. So I go back to school on Monday, and I've got my part-time job, but I'm finding some more time to stream here and there. I might go back through and do like a ridiculously hyper analytical look at the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw demo. Otherwise, still going through Ace Combat 7, still going through Wolong. In Wolong, I think I'm about 85% of the way through. So I'll probably end up finishing that before too long. Yeah, there's some other things too that I have in the pipe. So definitely be on the lookout for that. You can catch up with me on my Twitter at only Mendacii. That's only and then MENDACII and twitch.tv/Mendacii. Spelling's the same, you goon.
Coming up for me, let's see. This obviously the podcast is going up on all your favorite places. This Saturday, the bonus episode of The Arcana with Indy Falco is going up, which is fantastic. Yes. The last episode of session 4 went up like last weekend when this is getting recorded. So make sure you go check that out and enjoy that. Probably one of the best sessions we've ever had with The Arcana.
Tears, literal tears.
I did make Mendacii cry. And yeah, otherwise, I'm still working on stuff for VRCana. I think we are planning on April 7th, Friday the 7th, possibly being like when we do it. No promises, but that might be when the next session starts. Otherwise, I think I have a video coming out on YouTube. So, make sure you subscribe to the actual YouTube channel, or my personal YouTube channel for that. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for me. You can find me on Twitter at DaniK, DANIECAE, where I shitpost and talk about nonsense. But I think that's the whole show for the week. So thanks for watching and listening. Your time and attention is always appreciated. If you've made it this far, be sure to drop a like and subscribe on this video. It really helps us out a ton. Don't forget to let us know any of your thoughts on the things that we discussed today, especially the Capcom stuff. Mendacii will personally reply to you on all of those discussions in the comments. And you can also hit us up on Twitter. Greenlee, hit him with that Twitter.
At Next to Nothing PC. Check it out.
Hell yeah. Until next week, stay safe, stay healthy, keep fighting the good fights, and we'll talk to you again next week.